Hey crew, I've got the key to this 25 Toyota 4Runner TRD Off-Road, and today we're gonna see what it's like to live with. Starting with the spacing in my driveway, which is 16 feet wide by 19 and a half feet long. I've got the 4Runner parked right there at the edge, sitting next to a new Honda Odyssey that my wife is reviewing. If you want to check out her content, it's at Mobile Mama on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. That one is parked like a crazy person with the right rear tire hanging off and the front one in at an angle. Regardless of parking job though, there is still plenty of room to walk between the vehicles. Neither have power folding door mirrors, but we could get a wagon, not a double stroller through for kiddos. The nose of the 4Runner is hovering over the gutter at the beginning of my driveway, and that does leave ample space at the back, enough to walk in front of the hedge on the path to my front door. When first hopping in with the key fob in my pocket, I can just put my hand on the front two door handles. That will unlock all four doors. And I'll wait until I'm parked next to someone in a lot, ideally if they're not at an angle, to show you the real door opening space. That's one defined notch though, and that is 2. I can use the running board to get in, although I don't need to really. And there isn't a grab handle here, there's just one there, but that's sort of awkward, so I won't use that at all. The running boards are great for kids, but if you're taller, you just don't need them. Hello, cabin crew. Thanks for joining for this day in the life in the 25 Toyota 4Runner TRD Off-Road. In this video, I want to see if this newer 4Runner is a more refined daily driving experience than the older generation with its rough and tumble demeanor. All right, let's fire it up. There's that turbo 4-cylinder. Let's go listen to the audio from outside the truck. And for a cold start, this is very mellow, more so than the old 6-cylinder. This is not going to disturb anyone in your neighborhood, doesn't matter what the hour is. And I do, of course, have the curb ramp set up for clearance of the gutter, but it's unnecessary for the 4Runner, especially this TRD off-road model. Now let me show you where I would stick the items I bring with me every day, like my iPhone 15 Pro, which is sitting on the wireless charging pad. The key fob's just in my pocket, but I could put it in one of the cup holders, no problem. Inside the console, there isn't a whole lot of room. I do have my Racebox 0 to 60 timer and my Slimline wallet. My sunglasses are being stored up above in a protected area so I don't scratch the lenses. Love that. The door pocket holds normal sized water bottles, not 32-ounce bottles, so I did have to stick that and my GoPro accessory case in the very large glove box. So I think the storage inside this 4Runner is great for small items, but for larger ones that you want access to, not so great, because if you did have a passenger there, you'd be bumping their knees just to get to the water bottle. All right, now let me throw my seat belts, pull the gear selector back into drive. That's going to automatically release the parking brake. I shall roll on forward as I flick the windshield wipers once. Making sure we are clear. Turn the wheel, and I'm not going to touch my neighbor's trash cans on trash day, although that did momentarily bring up the front-facing camera. Nice. I am due for coffee this morning with my friend Forrest, but on my way to the shop, I can discuss the around-town ability of this new 4Runner, starting with the premium packages, seat heating in 3 different stages, and, my favorite, steering wheel heating. Now, as the tips of my fingers are warmed, I can pretend that we have a real winter here in Southern California. I know we don't. I lived in Boston. This is nothing. But these features do, well, they make me feel good. Now, as for these leatherette seats, they power adjust here on my left-hand side. I always wish in Toyota vehicles you could lower the driver's seat just a little more, because for taller torsoed individuals like myself, I don't have a whole lot of headroom here, and I feel like I'm viewing the driving experience from a perched posture. It's not so bad with a truck, but it's not great with a Toyota Sienna. Apart from that small critique, I do feel like the seats are comfortably shaped with good padding and nice thigh support. The power adjusting steering wheel comes almost as high up of tilt as I would like, but it definitely comes out far enough with a good telescope for my hands to rest comfortably. But everything I've discussed so far, except for the power adjustments to the steering column, are just like the old 4Runner. I want differences. And I think the biggest difference is the substitution of the naturally aspirated V6 for a turbocharged 4-cylinder paired with not a 6-speed automatic, but an 8-speed auto. And that sends power to a part-time 4-wheel drive system. And the difference doesn't come from horsepower. That's pretty much the same. It's the extra helping of torque and the way that torque is delivered through the 8-speed. At partial throttle, in the normal drive mode, there's just boost. It just gets the 4Runner out of its own way. It doesn't feel labored like the old V6 did. It doesn't feel labored. It sounds kind of labored though, because this 4-cylinder has the tone of a diesel. It clatters in that way. It's almost like Toyota said, all right, we've done the refinements. We've given it the better transmission and more low-end torque to move around town easily. By the way, this gearbox, when the truck is cold, it's actually quite clunky, kind of like the old 6-speed. Anyway, they did the refinements, so they have to add back some of the gruffness. It's gotta sound like it's working. All the time. Of course, that's not the only thing that gives you the truck impression. It legitimately is a truck. It's on a ladder frame chassis, a new one that's shared with the Tacoma, and it has a solid rear axle. And that means that it's still a bumpy ride. We're on some pretty smooth pavement here, but it picks up on the undulations and the little defects in the road to keep you bouncing around in the seats. But you kind of expect to be jostled in the cabin of something like this. Competing with things like the Bronco and Wrangler, my family, when I was growing up, called our Wrangler the whoopee-wee car. You anticipated, and in some cases, enjoyed the bumpiness, and yet there have been so many refinements to suspension systems since then. The 4Runner takes out the harshness of the impacts. It just leaves you with the bumpiness. I'm okay with that. Now all that's left are some daily driving details, like the turn signal sound, which is not an unpleasant tone, and the turning radius, which is actually quite good. And let's not forget the horn. Someone is driving recklessly on the road. It's your responsibility to beep at them. And what are they gonna hear? It's a little dinky. It really is just a beep. All right, looks like I made it here to Cup by Blue Hummingbird Coffee. Now to find Forrest and enjoy. And that gives me a chance to parallel park this 4Runner in a space that's not a whole lot bigger than this truck, but based off the turning radius I just saw, should be pretty maneuverable. So, got my camera system going, lots of different angles, bird's eye view, trajectory lines. I'm gonna cut in here, get close to that curb before I crank the wheel. Ease on back. Having the extra tire sidewall is also really nice. Not worried about scraping wheels. Then pull on forward. Let me bring that camera back up. I actually turned it off. Parking sensors for proximity. Get close without touching. One more adjustment. And we're good. So, the 4Runner is parallel park approved. This is just lovely stuff. Oh, look who it is. Red Bull. How we doing, man?
Good to see you.
What's up, Zach?
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
What are you drinking, man?
I'm drinking a decaf latte.
Oh.
This is like the classic move for me. I wanted decaf drip, but they don't do drip with decaf.
Yeah, I went complete opposite and got ultra amounts of caffeine.
I love that you guys also went to Blue Hummingbird, just not this one.
Dude, okay, but this one is a much better vibe.
Yeah, it's way better.
It is very chill here. Imagine if you live right there, you're like, I'm gonna go downstairs and get coffee.
So
Super nice.
Dude.
No, what? That's actually, it's a moto. No, this has gotta be like an office space. I need a cafe racer in my office one day. What are you driving?
I am in this Chinese car, the Auto L7.
What's
the
the
park itself? You want to see?
Yeah. Okay, going to this parking lot.
I do like that the lights turn blue to let like other cars know that it's like
No one's in it, it's doing
no one's in it,
something.
it's doing things by itself.
The future! We're watching it happen.
Pretty perfect.
Oh,
job.
wow.
Ignore the fact that it's in a
Handicap spot, yeah, yeah.
It's just for
In one go.
it is crazy to see just the level of quality on this. for equivalent of like what, 54 grand.
All right, America, we've got some work to do. All right, I'm firing on all cylinders now after all that decaffeinated coffee. Anyway, it's the 4Runner's turn, so let's do a real-world 0 to 60 test with my race box setup here to record. I'm in the sport drive mode, sport transmission setting, brake boosting, letting it go, and we are away! Hustling to 60 in 8.25 seconds. Faster, but not fast. And just to put your mind at ease, you probably noticed, like I did, that it starts in the third gear. I've tried it, because you have to go into manual mode to do this, to get it into the first gear for a launch, and it's actually slower. So, guess the truck knows better than me. Now it's time for me to move. So I'm gonna go on a bike ride, so that means I need to get my bike into the trunk. And that also is going to mean I need to get those seats down. I can't do that from back here. I wish I could. I have to go to the side doors, open these up, pull on the levers, and either have the seats tumble forward or keep them like that. I did put a cover down to protect the seat backs, but as you can see, it's not a flat floor. That is a shelf there, so I will have to lift the back tire up and over that while loading. Okay, up we go. And get it just lift again. We're doing it. We're doing it. And that's it. We're in with lots of room to spare. So bring a friend in their bike, why not? Check. I made it. I'm ready to ride. But before I do, I promised I would show you the door opening space in a lot. So here we go. Next to this avalanche. Nice. That's one defined notch. I don't think. Yeah, I can't go two without touching it. And the door opening is just fine. I could get out easily, except for the running board. It actually pulls my legs out further and whacks them against the door, and then whacks the back of my ankles, the Achilles heel, against the running board. So it's not very comfortable. But you know what? We make it work. Or just get rid of the running board. Tell your kids to grow. Out you go. And away we go. From bikes to beauties. Oh. It's Mobile Mama. I'm so good at those transitions.
It's so embarrassing.
Welcome to the back of the 4Runner, the new 4Runner. And I want to ask you how you're feeling.
I like it. Lots of room.
Yeah.
Not too much thigh support.
No, you're right. The floor is high.
Well, the seats are kind of like straight L.
Yes. I mean, you can recline.
Okay.
Quite a ways, actually. Oh, that's
nice.
It is very nice.
But there's not much, like, this is very flat.
It's very flat, yes.
Very
not
flat.
a lot of curvature to the back seats. I found that the shape of the fronts were good, but not the back.
Okay.
You get an armrest, leatherette padding.
You have a cup holder on the side, 2 USB-Cs, an AC outlet, and some vents. That's good.
Vents, your favorite. The features galore. Although, you know, I will say, I'm glad that my head does clear the roof, even with the seat up.
Oh.
But it's like a cutout for my head, so I can't go. I can't go too far forward. Yeah, don't do that. But
I do it again.
Do it again. Just one more time. Okay. So we don't want to do. That's what we don't want to do. I had to demonstrate it twice, just so you know for sure. So yeah, behind my seat at 6 feet, I've got knee room, which is great. The foot pockets are a little bit tight, but to your point, the floor is high. It is a truck platform.
Yes.
Means the floor is going to be higher, but yeah, it's not the most comfortable for a long journey.
How is it in this middle seat? Move on over.
I don't want to. Ooh, showing some leg? Why not? Yeah, I mean, because of the drive shaft hump, my leg's not going to fit there.
Well, we tried it.
We tried it. Adults can fit in the back, maybe not for a long trip. Let's go see about car seats next.
Okay.
Look how wide the door's open.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
This is great. Loading in those car seats is a breeze. How was the install on your end?
Really easy. I probably need to move this up just a smidge, but that's it.
Okay, for me, simple, and Talia's gonna have plenty of legroom. Let's see about your legroom after you do move it up that smidge. I'll let you know when you're good. Nope, you're good.
Okay.
Power seats.
That's nice.
This is the premium trim of the off-road.
Oh.
Oh, and you can stretch out.
Yeah, good legroom. We can say it.
The new 4Runner is family approved. Wait.
What?
Before you go, just give me some thoughts on the front of this cabin.
I thought you were going to share profess your love for me.
I said you're beautiful. I led this with that. Come on.
All right. I like how they gussied up the plastic. You know, there's some nice textures, cool design.
You're right, it is a lot of plastic,
stuff.
but you're right, they did different finishes and designs.
But this is chunky. I like these controls.
Every control is like big and easy to use.
Right, and then you have this large screen. I don't think it needs to be this large, but...
It doesn't. I mean, it's a lot of screen area for not many things. It does make it easy to use.
You'll have your Apple CarPlay on there and it will show everything. That would be nice.
What do you think this one costs, as tested? Off-Road Premium.
52, 53, I don't know.
You're right on the money. I mean, like, well, just a little bit higher, 56.
Okay.
So, you know, ballpark. You get a sunroof. I don't think this is crazy, like what they're giving you for what they're charging. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'm going to take my older daughter on a daddy-daughter date. And in anticipation of that, because the drive isn't super close, I wanted to refuel this 19-gallon tank. And the EPA rates the 4Runner TRD Off-Road at 19 mpg in the city, 25 on the highway, and 21 combined. If I saw 21 combined, I'd have a fuel range of just under 400 miles, but I've been seeing 16.3 miles per gallon. And of the history of loans for this truck, the best anyone else has gotten is just under 18 miles per gallon. So we're a bit off the mark. And at current fuel prices of $5.09 for 91 octane gas that the new 4Runner does require, it's gonna cost me just under 97 bucks to fill this tank, and there isn't capless fueling, so I gotta work a little bit harder. All right, Tally, you ready to go somewhere fun?
Yeah!
Yeah!
Rainbow.
What?
Rainbow.
Oh, I see the curve of a rainbow. So, do you want to know where we're going?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know a whole lot about it because I've never been there, but it's a theme park in Long Beach. And okay, so Talia, a theme park is like Disneyland or Legoland or Knott's Berry Farm. We're gonna go meet up with our friends Phil and Sam, and that is gonna put us on the highway for a little while so we can see about things like passing power. And I'm not gonna change the drive mode, I'm just gonna move the gear selector over to sport before I change lanes. Pretty quick. The turbo 4-cylinder does its best. Let's go over one more lane if I had spotted a gap.
It's a circle.
What?
It's a circle.
It's a circle? Oh, you're still making shapes. Yeah, so the 4Runner, it has enough grunt to change lanes safely. You may just need to plan your maneuvers a little bit further in advance than just spontaneous. We got to get over. So the power is there. That's good. Now, when we're at a cruising speed, how loud is it inside this cabin? Well, I'm getting a lot of wind noise right now, but not much hum from the all-terrain tires, just a little bit. And though we're not being passed by a lot of traffic right now, I have in the past, there you go, been able to hear those vehicles moving around the 4Runner. So I think the cabin volume is okay. It's just not going to be bank vault quiet. You can have a conversation with a fellow passenger up front at this tone of volume. Talia, could you hear what I'm saying easily?
Yes.
Yeah, and she's in the back, so it's not that bad. What?
Pretend this is your hat.
Okay. It's my hat. I already have a hat on though, Tali, so now this is my second hat.
Yeah.
Should I switch hats?
Yeah.
But then they can't see what I'm looking at. So if we were commuting on the highway, I could use some of the driving assistance features. I've got adaptive cruise control, I can set my following distance, and I have steering assistance. And so with these going, I don't have to go to the throttle or brake to maintain the gap to the vehicle in front of me. And I have a little bit of correction from the steering system to stay in the center of the lane. This is most useful if you just got distracted for a second and started to drift in the lane. It's gonna keep you right front and center. It's not a full hands-free highway driving system like on some other vehicles. This is still really helpful, and especially the adaptive cruise in stop and go traffic. And even if it wasn't a commute situation, if you had the whole family with you and you're going on a road trip, these features are really helpful. Do you want to try to listen to some music, Tali?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. So we've got this huge screen, 14 inches of real estate, makes it easy to touch the icons. And then when we find what we're looking for, nicely responsive as well. can turn the giant physical volume knob. It matches the size of the screen. I think max volume is 60, so it looks to be about half right now. Going up a little bit more. Okay, let's get the official verdict. Talia, what did you think?
I love it.
You love it? I think she probably liked the bass. There's quite a bit of bass to this JBL sound system. 14 speakers, had ample wattage, no shortage of volume. It's not crazy high fidelity, but at this price point, I have no complaints. Let me discuss visibility now. So out over the hood, no big issues, and I like that it's downturned and has a depression in the middle so I can see the front of the truck pretty easily. The A-pillars are not that thick. The side windows are tall enough, but as you get to the C and then D pillars, there is a blind spot, especially because that headrest bisects the two of them. So you need that blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic to help you out. And we have this digital rear view mirror to help me see through anything that might be in the back, people or cargo piled high. So you can make it work in this truck. The naked eye visibility over the shoulder though isn't perfect. Tali was just remarking that she wished the 4Runner had sunshades, and she went further to say that all vehicles should have sunshades. That would be wonderful. I don't expect it at this price point, although I would expect that the 4Runner would have sun visors that slide, but they don't. You just get this little winglet that comes out, and that I guess is great for blocking the sun directly in your eyes, but it comes over and above, and more importantly, it just is still gonna melt your face with that heat. So come on, Toyota, step it up there. Tali says she's made the hat bigger so it should fit now. She's extended all the little pieces possible, and
It fits.
it fits. Oh, we are almost here, and it turns out the Dorado Frontier theme park is in a regional park. So this is gonna be a little different than Disneyland, Talia, but it should be fun.
Yes.
We are here. So let's park and go play. And look at that. We parked right next to an old 4Runner with our new 4Runner, a Tundra as well. So Talia, which do you like better? The older one or the newer one? That one?
Cool.
It is. Well, this one is also lifted a bit, and it's on the TRD wheels. That does look pretty cool. I'll give it that. It's one.
Same wheel.
It does look good. I gotta just take the front skirt off. That would help this look a lot better as well. I do like the blue though, right? Don't you like the blue better than the silver? Yes. The Heritage blue is awesome. Well,
I like the silver.
you like the
too.
silver too? Okay, Tali seems to be very into the last generation 4Runner. I think a lot of people feel the same way. What about from the back end? Still silver? Okay. All right, that's our verdict. Throw this away, Toyota. We want the old one.
Actually, new one.
New one. Okay, thank you. Changed our mind. We like the back end of the new one better. Here we go, Dorado Frontier Park. Guess it pays to get here early. Not many folks inside. Carousel time. Trains rolling into town. Uh-oh, it's danger. Whoa. Well, met up with our friends, and now we're gonna go to this bounce house. Well, I think I would give the Dorado Frontier theme park a 7 out of 10. Because the rides were not crowded, that was awesome. The admission was not terribly expensive, and there was a good theme to the park. But it was a bit understaffed. There was one person running between one attraction to the other to actually run it. Tali, what do you think? Did you have fun though? Yay! But it never fails. Kids always seem to have a better time with things that are free. And after playtime is over, we have ourselves an El Pollo Loco feast.
Daddy,
Yeah.
I'm more than eating.
Check. Well, crew, at the beginning of this video, I pondered if this new 4Runner was better to live with than the old one. And after quality time spent behind the wheel, I can single out a few key areas in which this is a more pleasant daily driver. Let's start with a big one, fuel economy. Even though I couldn't match EPA estimates, I was lucky to average 14 miles per gallon in the old 4Runner. Technology is a big step forward, most notably the large high-resolution camera system and digital rearview mirror to enhance confidence with some otherwise challenging blind spots. The new turbo 4-cylinder may sound kinda rough, but it delivers plenty of low-end torque for getting around town and pairs nicely with the smooth, when warmed up, 8-speed automatic. And if you liked the old Runner, the formula remains relatively unchanged. Truck underpinnings, truck utility, truck ride, truck looks. This new 4Runner then is the sum of small but important improvements to usability over the predecessor, even if my daughter doesn't think it looks as good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this day in the life, and I will see you again next time.